back now. Saudi Arabia is hoping to win its first Oscar. It's put forward romantic comedy Raven Song, which tells the tale of a young man who tries to win over a mystery woman with a poem. It's an Arab Cyrano de Bergerac, if you will. Well, I24 News producer and film buff Emma Oliver is here with us in the studio to talk more about it. Good to see you, Emma. So tell us a bit about the film. Would you say it gives us an insight into Saudi life?
So I would definitely say it gives you a bit of an insight into Saudi life, but not so much the strict cultural norms that goes on in Saudi Arabia. So this film was directed by Mohammed Al Salman. He actually became a filmmaker in 2014, and fun fact, he actually was an electrical engineer for most of his career up until 2014 when he dived into the film scene with
Not to be confused with Mohammed bin Salman, if I could.
Yes, nope, but not to be confused. Yes, no. Yeah, this is a director and filmmaker in Saudi Arabia, but he is a bit of a new face to the film scene in the Middle East, and it kind of represents this surge in the filmmaking in the Middle East and media world there. Now this film is about a young man. He works at a hotel and he sees this beautiful, mysterious young woman walk in, and to kind of steer away from the cultural norms, he doesn't consult his family or his father about speaking to this woman, but he consults his best friend. And the best friend then tells him to write a poem to kind of lure this woman into falling in love. But with the poetry aspect, it gives us a dive into the history of Saudi Arabia because their native music is actually all associated with poetry. So it kind of gives you that insight into their culture a bit.
Oh, wonderful. Well, Saudi Arabia is, as you've pointed out, a very conservative country. In fact, they have censored a lot of Western films. How does that square with this kind of romantic comedy production?
Yeah, so in the past, Saudi Arabia has censored a lot of Western films, and not even just in the past, but recently. Actually, in June of this year, they censored the new Buzz Lightyear film, Lightyear, because of two women kissing. Because of that, you know, they have been known to censor films. But more recently, they actually, in 2018, there was a committee that lifted the cinema ban of 35 years in the country. So Saudi Arabia has been seeing this kind of change in their culture and the film industry and bringing that, you know, new face to their culture, although they still are very hesitant on, you know, uncensoring things like relationship norms and things like that. So I believe this film is kind of challenging those norms by, you know, showing this young man not consulting his family, and he's not going to this woman for marriage specifically, but just because he sees how beautiful she is, he wants to speak with her, which is something we don't really see in the country.
Yeah, so it's kind of a step-by-step, very, very slowly.
Sure.
Let's talk about the Academy Awards and how many Arab films, indeed Arab directors, have been honoured at the Oscars.
So, as of 2021, only 11 Arab films have ever been nominated for the Oscars in the international film category. But we've been seeing this recent change and kind of diversity being included in the Oscars. Last year, 9 Arab films alone were nominated for the Oscars. But with that, only one Arab film has ever won the Oscar and taken home the award, which was in 1969 when a French-Algerian thriller called Z took home the award. So we haven't been seeing them actually win, but in recent years they are trying to make it a bit more diverse by nominating more Arab films and including the Middle East more often. So we'll see if this year they take home the award with the Raven Song in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting and good to see more Arab films being made and indeed brought to a wider audience as well.
100%.
Emma, thank you very much indeed. Emma Oliver there, Raven Song, one to watch at the Oscars.